Hello there and welcome to the news at 6. I'm Tracy Shilchi and here are the headlines of this hour. The way cleared for Sasikala Natarajan to become next Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. Governor accepts O. Pannirselvam's resignation, asks him and his cabinet to continue though until alternative arrangements are made. Both houses of parliament continue discussion on the motion of thanks on the president's address. Opposition parties corner the government on the issues of demonetization and the surgical strikes. Political bigwigs continue their campaigns in Uttar Pradesh ahead of the first phase of polling on the 11th of February. Akhilesh, Rahul, Mayawati and Rajnath Singh address rallies. US President Donald Trump takes on the court system of the country after his travel ban is put on hold. Relieved immigrants take advantage of the legal uncertainty to enter the US. And the BCCI cleansing process continues. Committee of Administrators sack employees appointed by the former President Anurag Thakur. Nishant Arora quits as the board's media manager. Our top story coming in from Tamil Nadu, where Sasikala Natarajan is also to take over as the Chief Minister of the state. A day after O. Pannirselvam tendered his resignation from the top post, Governor Vidyasagar Rao accepted his resignation, but has asked him and his Council of Ministers to continue functioning until alternative arrangements are made. The road ahead for Natarajan looks smoother than anticipated, with no overt protests by party MLAs, although some voices of dissent have been raised.
A day after it became clear that Sasikala Natarajan will be the next Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, there are two clear hurdles in her way. One, the voices of dissent against her being elevated, and second, the disproportionate assets case against her. On Monday, the Supreme Court said it is ready to decide whether the 61-year-old is guilty of conspiring with J. Jayalalitha to accumulate vast amounts of wealth far exceeding their known sources of income in the early 90s. But the case is only one of her problems. She is also fighting open rebellion, albeit from those who are now outside the party.
So it is purely an emergency situation at Tamil Nadu because she has not done anything to the party. She has not worked for the party. My youth, Tamil Nadu youth, will not allow her. My people, Tamil Nadu people, will not allow her. Because already she has been proved that in the lower court she is a criminal.
Soon after news of her elevation surfaced, public reaction has poured in on social media. Leaders from across the political spectrum also panned the decision. Former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram took to Twitter to say that even though it was the right of AIADMK MLAs to elect their leader, the people of the state had the right to ask if the leader deserves to be CM.
Sasikala had never contested in any elections. Sasikala had never been in a party position when Jayalalitha was active. So the problem is that the people's mandate, whether it is for Sasikala or not, is a question. See, no political party can go against the wishes of the people.
People are very upset of the happenings in Tamil Nadu. Suddenly, Mr. Pannirselvam tenders his resignation, and suddenly the ADMK legislators elect Mrs. Sasikala as their leader. And Mrs. Sasikala is not even an MLA and has no administrative experiences in the last so many years. So this is very unfortunate happening here.
Sasikala Natarajan's path was cleared after O. Pannirselvam tendered his resignation on Sunday, citing personal reasons. AIADMK MLAs then met and elected Sasikala as their leader. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, for more on this developing story, we're joined by Narayan Lakshman, who's a senior deputy editor with The Hindu, joining us in fact on the phone line. Lakshman, if you could give us an idea of what it seems like at the moment. Some indications are that the swearing in, even though it maybe have been slotted for the 9th of February, may in fact take place tomorrow itself. But we do understand that the governor is still in Delhi.
Yes, absolutely, that is right. What we're hearing here is that it could be the 7th or the 9th. We don't have any more concrete information than that. So yes, theoretically it could be as early as tomorrow, although I think the 9th is looking quite likely. Having said that, I think events have moved very fast indeed. The Sunday emergency meeting has caught a lot of people off guard, but at the same time, there's a sense of this being an event that has been in the making for quite some time, and I don't think anybody was surprised in that sense, maybe except at the speed at which it has all happened.
That's right. And also, as far as protests are concerned, not much that we are seeing. There are, of course, some sporadic reports that are coming in, of course, of some locals, some citizens, of course, protesting against it. But surprisingly, not anything big, compared to what you would otherwise, what logic would otherwise say, someone who's not had any kind of political, duties before, no administrative duties before, and suddenly comes out and is now claiming to be the chief minister of the state. But compared to what logic would say, there are not as much protests as we would, imagine.
Absolutely right, Tracy. And we should ask ourselves why that is the case. And to really understand the situation, you also have to take a sort of a broad view of the history of Tamil Nadu politics, where even Ms. Jayalalitha herself, although she was known through film and as sort of the leading lady in cinema across from N.G. Ramachandran, who was the chief minister, she too entered without extensive record of governance or time in office. So in that sense, it is not new. But yes, the resentment is also understandable because I think there was a feeling that she and that is Ms. V.K. Sasikala and her family have been playing some sort of a role which some people even say is extra constitutional or beyond official authority.
Yes.
But however, that has to be, we have to watch in the future to see how her role evolves. So my point, I suppose, is that you can have an unconventional entry into politics, yet ultimately you will have to reckon with governance and the requirements of governance.
Prove to the people that you are worthy of that seat. Absolutely. We'll leave it there for now. Lakshman, thanks so much for joining us for this. We'll come back to you, of course, in the days to see what eventually progresses there in Chennai. Meanwhile, back in the capital, the upper house resumed the discussion on the motion of thanks on the president's address on Monday. An opposition party sought to corner the government on demonetization and claimed that the decision has disrupted the economy of the nation. The opposition also slammed the government for allegedly dismantling the established institutions of the country. The government's penchant for catchy phrases and innovative publicity also came under attack.
ओवर पब्लिसिटी हर चीज में नुकसान करती है। आपने बहुत ज्यादा सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक, 3 बार सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक हमारी सरकार में हुई, तो उसके बाद आर्मी का काम है करते, ऐसा लगा पहली बार हुआ है। हमें तो ये घबराहट हुई कि इस्लामाबाद पे कब्जा हो गया क्या, जिस तरह से वक्त हंगामा चारों तरफ से पता ही नहीं लगा था। ये तो इंदिरा जी ने जब युद्ध लड़ा था 71 का तब नहीं किया होगा। जिस तरह का लग रहा था कि पूरा कोई गदा लिए, रक्षा मंत्री गदा लिए आगरा में खड़े हैं, कोई बाढ़ लिए खड़ा हुआ, कोई कुछ नहीं, पता नहीं क्या क्या कर दिया कि आखिर में एक जनरल को खड़े होकर बोलना पड़ा कि भाई साहब ये तो पहले भी हो चुकी।
कश्मीर का मामला जो है उसमें कहीं ना कहीं ये महसूस होना चाहिए, ऐसा लगना चाहिए, एक जसवंत सिन्हा के नेतृत्व में वहां लोग गए थे, वो सरकार से हम सब लोगों से आग्रह करके कह रहे हैं कि यही वक्त है जिस पर बातचीत करके रास्ता निकालना चाहिए, और बातचीत हर तरह के लोगों के साथ करिए। किसी की सरकारें रही हो, लेकिन उन सरकारों ने उन समस्याओं का समाधान करने का काम किया। लेकिन अकेला इस बार जो है वो आपने कश्मीर के मामले में आपने सारा का सारा जो अलायंस किया, उस अलायंस में जितने भी सवाल रखे उसमें से एक बात पर भी कदम को उठाने का आपने काम नहीं किया।
Many things have actually been endorsed and legalized. Why do you say this? There's more money than what was demonetized that is coming into your banks today. What does that mean? That all your black money that was held as stock in the country, all the black money held as stock in the country has now been converted into white. All the illicit counterfeit money that you have in our country has been legalized. Now, what was the objective? You said that it will reduce your terrorist funding. After your surgical strikes, the number of our Jawans who are sacrificing their lives to defend us, while we are proud of them and we salute them, the number of them who lost their lives in terrorist attacks has doubled.
And a discussion on the motion of thanks on the President's address continued in Lok Sabha as well. In the lower house, there was a heated exchange between the government and the opposition. Here's a report.
मैं आपके सामने कुछ आंकड़े पेश कर रहा हूं कि हमारी घोषणाएं सिर्फ घोषणाएं नहीं थी, उनके परिणाम इस धरातल पर 2 साल के अंदर आ चुके हैं। मैं बताना चाहता हूं कि जनधन योजना के अंतर्गत 26 करोड़ 68 लाख खाते खुले, जिसमें से 21 करोड़ खातों पर रुपए डेबिट कार्ड जारी कर दिए गए हैं। ये धरातल पर उतरी है योजनाएं। 9 करोड़ 90 लाख व्यक्तियों द्वारा प्रधानमंत्री सुरक्षा योजना के अंतर्गत प्रतिभाग किया गया। 10 करोड़ जनता द्वारा, जिसमें से 10,000 दावों में से 7,000 दावों का भुगतान भी किया जा चुका है।
एक साल में, पिछले साल में 62 डिरेलमेंट्स हुए हैं, जो उसके पहले के साल से अगर कंपेयर करते हैं तो 70% ज्यादा है। जो रेल एक्सीडेंट हुए हैं 70% मोर देन योर ओन प्रीवियस ईयर। तो आप कितने एफिशिएंटली इसको चला रहे हैं, इससे ही मालूम होता है। और ये आंकड़े आपके हैं, मेरे नहीं है।
Now, with the first phase of Uttar Pradesh Assembly polls barely a week away, campaigning in the state is in full swing. Addressing a rally in Sitapur district, Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav thanked the crowd for supporting his party and also ridiculed the Achhe Din promise of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Campaigning on the forthcoming elections, Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav on Monday thanked the crowd for having faith in the Samajwadi Party. Addressing a rally at Sitapur Sidoli, he said this election will reveal which party works seriously for the people of the state. Among other developmental issues, Akhilesh also reminded people about the prompt ambulance services started by his government.
सिदौली की जनता ने कभी भी समाजवादी लोगों को निराश नहीं किया। सिदौली की जनता ने हमेशा सम्मान बढ़ाने का काम समाजवादियों का किया है। सरकार इसलिए बढ़ाना चाहते हैं कि जो काम होना शुरू हुआ है, हम और तेजी से इसको बढ़ाना चाहते हैं। जो सड़कें बनी, जो पुल बना, जो बिजली का इंतजाम हुआ, जो इलाज का इंतजाम करने जाना चाहते हैं, वो और तेजी से हम करना चाहते हैं। जिसे बिना आपकी मदद के, बिना आपके सहयोग के संभव नहीं है।
Taking on the BJP again, Akhilesh stated that the demonetization drive implemented by PM Modi caused hardships to everyone and people were forced to stand in the long queues for hours.
आपने सुना होगा प्रधानमंत्री जी का भाषण भी। पता नहीं प्रधानमंत्री जी कौन सी बात कहते जा रहे हैं, पता नहीं कौन सी बातें कह रहे हैं। हमें और आपको तो वो दिन याद है जब ये बीजेपी के लोग अच्छे दिनों का वादा करके चले गए थे। बताओ, बीजेपी के लोग अच्छे दिन का वादा किए थे कि नहीं किए थे? और सबको लाइन में लगा दिया। ये 500,000 रुपया बंद कर दिया। सब लोगों को तकलीफ हुई, परेशानी हुई।
Uttar Pradesh will vote for a new government in the 7-phase elections to be held between February 11th and March 8th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, BSP Chief Mayawati on Monday said that people in Uttar Pradesh have to decide whether they want to have in fact decided to make the BSP win. And she also said that they will get an absolute majority and form the government. Addressing an election rally in Agra, she attacked the ruling Samajwadi Party, saying that the Akhilesh Yadav government has wasted money on advertisements. Launching a scathing attack at the BJP as well over its demonetization drive, she said that crores of people lost their jobs due to the note ban. She also assures people that no new statues and parks will be built if she comes back to power in Uttar Pradesh.
मुझे ये पूरा भरोसा हो गया है कि अब इस चुनाव में बीएसपी की ही अकेले अपनी पूर्ण बहुमत की सरकार बनने के लिए जा रही है, जिसे आप ध्यान से सुनो, जिसे बीजेपी ने अंदर अंदर स्वीकार भी कर लिया है। और अब बीजेपी यहाँ वास्तव में सपा व कांग्रेस गठबंधन से दूसरे व्यक्ति से नंबर पर आने के लिए ही ये चुनाव लड़ रही है। ऐसी स्थिति में अब यहाँ प्रदेश में बीएसपी की ही अकेले पूर्ण बहुमत की सरकार बनना लगभग तय है।
Meanwhile, Home Minister Rajnath Singh also addressed a rally in Kashganj district. Speaking at the rally, he attacked the Akhilesh Yadav government, saying that there's no law and order that prevails in Uttar Pradesh and the women are not safe as well. Rajnath also announced that his party would waive off loans of small farmers if voted to power in the state. Now to the US, where President Donald Trump accused the court system of endangering the country after his controversial travel ban was put on hold on Friday. Attacking the federal judge who blocked his travel ban, Trump said that Americans should blame the courts if something took place. Meanwhile, over the prevailing legal uncertainty, many people from the banned countries have entered the US over the weekend.
With the legal uncertainty over a travel ban imposed by President Donald Trump, several people were able to enter the United States despite being from the banned countries. They heaved a sigh of relief as the customs process was smooth and quick, in contrast to the past week when many were not even allowed to board their flights to the US due to the travel ban.
I feel very grateful to be here and be able to go back to school, and I'm very grateful for everybody who supported this whole last week. Thank you.
Meanwhile, the president stepped up his criticism of the country's court system, accusing it of putting the country in peril. On Twitter, Trump attacked the federal judge who blocked his travel ban, saying Americans should blame the courts if something happened. Trump also said he had instructed border officials to check people entering America very carefully. Vice President Mike Pence, meanwhile, defended the executive order on the travel ban, saying it was based on solid constitutional and legal ground.
I mean, the American people know that the threats that we face are real, and they elected President Donald Trump for many reasons, but one of them was for us to rethink our immigration policies relative to ensuring that people who represent a threat to our families and communities don't come into this country. We'll continue to press that, and we remain very confident that the President's actions are on solid constitutional and legal ground.
Meanwhile, supporters and opponents of Trump faced off in front of Trump Towers in New York on Sunday, reflecting the growing division over the issue.
I prefer thinking of people as individuals, and I think Trump really does look that way. Despite how colorful and the things he says, I still believe that he's really the one person who could make some serious change in this country.
We do not agree with racism. We do not agree with anti-gays. We do not agree with discrimination.
The ban affecting people from 7 Islamic countries was blocked by Seattle's federal judge on Friday. The White House and 2 U.S. states challenging the ban have been given a deadline of Monday to present more arguments. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And in a quick sports update, the Supreme Court appointed committee of administrators sacked some employees of the BCCI on Monday. The committee, which took over the running of the cricket board on January 30th, sacked employees appointed by the former BCCI president Anurag Thakur and secretary Ajay Shirke after a meeting that was held on the 1st of February. BCCI CEO Rahul Johri will oversee the appointments and tenure of the other BCCI officials. Meanwhile, the Indian cricket team's media manager Nishant Arora tendered his resignation following the committee's decision that Delhi office of the BCCI would be shut down. Arora, who served for 18 months, tendered his resignation on the Sunday evening after he was offered a shift to the BCCI Cricket Centre in Mumbai. Arora's resignation comes after the removal of former BCCI presidents Anurag Thakur and Ajay Shirke by the Apex Court for failing to implement the Justice R.M. Lodha Committee recommendations. And that's all we have for you on the news at 6. Thanks for joining us.